Well, I see you're wearing black today, and I'm sure I know why that is.
It's true.
It starts this week.
It starts today. I'm wearing black because Mercury, the planet of communication, has stopped its forward motion in the sign of Taurus, and it's fixing to go back for 21 days, wreaking havoc with communications. It means bound to be done over again and bound to be repeated. The word miss goes in front of everything. Misunderstandings, miscommunication, all kind of bad stuff happens with Mercury retrograde. So the best thing for anybody to do is simply don't believe what you hear. The axiom is bound to be done over again and bound to be repeated. And if you ever want to slide something by that's not quite kosher, this is the great Mercury to do it under. But I thought you need to know where Mercury is retrograding in your chart, and if you know that, then you'll be able to maybe deal with the effects a little easier. So
okay.
For Aries, the sign that we're in, it's in their second house of money, so there are financial issues that need to be resolved, but it's only going to be there for about 3 weeks, and then it backs into the sign of Aries, which is their first house of their physical self. So Aries have to be really careful not to be misunderstood and to not misrepresent themselves or things. And when you tie that in with real estate, you go, and don't make any misrepresentations about real estate or property or money.
Gotcha.
For Tauruses, it's in their sign, and they have just now found their voice again, after having to kind of stay back and not say a whole lot for the last maybe month or so. And then they have to be really careful with their words, because what they say might be misunderstood, misinterpreted, and they would find that their own words would be used against them. So Tauruses need to be really careful with the things that they say and also what they agree to, because they're going to find anything's easier to get into than it is to get out of.
Gotcha.
So, for Geminis, our president, this is... Mercury has been in their 11th house. It's gone to their 12th house of their own undoing. And so decisions that they've made have come back kind of to haunt them. And now they have to go back and they're going to have to rely on their male friends and colleagues to kind of bail them out, to kind of get them out of a jam type of thing. And they're not going to like it, but they're going to need the help of their well-placed male friends to get their goals and objectives met.
Okay.
For Cancers, like the United States, it's gone from their 10th house, it had been in their 10th house of career and public standing, so the spotlight really has been for the last month or so on the presidency and on our leadership, and that is being a little bit revised. And I think that that's a good thing for the United States. I think for Cancers, that it's going to have them paying much closer attention to their professional aspirations and careers, and they want to make sure that they don't start something they can't finish. For Leos, it's about legal matters. The spotlight's been on them professionally for the last couple of weeks or so, and now it's gone back into the 9th house of the law, contracts, negotiations. So it's sort of like they've gotten a good review, and now that they've got that good review, they want to find a way to capitalize on it, because when the law is on your side, Leos, you really want to use it. I don't think you need to club anybody over the head with it, but you really want to go ahead and use it.
Gotcha.
So, and read everything before you sign it, especially the teeny-weeny small fine print. For Virgos, it is in their, it's been in their 9th house of the law, of legal matters, of contracts. Now it's going back into their 8th house of other people's resources. And Virgos really want to find a way. They've been working really hard on streamlining their finances and cutting the fat, so to speak. And now they really want to take a look at what their resources are and how they can maximize their existing resources rather than seeking out new ones. And so they have to be careful to remember you don't get something for nothing, Virgo. And if anybody should know that, it should be Virgo, but sometimes they think that they're exceptions. For Libras, it has been in their 8th house of other people's money. They've been spending a boatload of money on unanticipated expenses, and now that kind of stops a bit. And then it goes back into their 7th house of partners. So it really is a good time for them to examine their intimate one-to-one relationships to see whether or not they are meeting the Libra's need. If they are, great, but if they aren't, they need to cut and move and find somebody new or another thing that's new to partner up with to meet the Libra's needs. For Scorpios, it has been in their 7th house of everybody yelling at you and pointing your finger at you and partners and that kind of thing. And it now backs into the 6th house of work and responsibilities. And so what Scorpios are probably going to find is that, if you really want the job done, do it yourself. Do the research yourself, do the job yourself, do the work yourself, and find a way. It's not a time for a promotion, but it's a time to kind of reorganize their work environment so it suits them a little bit better. For Sagittarians, it's been in their 6th house of work and responsibility and onerous tasks, and has moved back into their 5th house of I want to have a good time. So if you could have Mercury retrograde someplace, I think the 5th house of love affairs and amusements and pleasures is a good place to do it because it's stuff that's fun that you want to do over again.
Gotcha.
For Capricorns, it's been in their 5th house of children and creativity and the love principle, and now it moves back into their 4th house of home. So I think that they're going to spend the next 3 weeks trying to figure out what they want to do to refurbish and remodel their home. And I say to you, wait for Mercury to go direct before you start knocking out any walls or signing any contracts or coming to any kind of agreement. Good time for research. For Aquarians, it has been in their 4th house of home. Now it's going back into their 3rd house of day-to-day living. And they're going to find themselves backtracking. They're going to find themselves thinking that this stuff was already done in February, but guess what? We have to do it again, and you'll have a better outcome this time when you do it. And then for Pisces, the last sign, it's been in their 3rd house of day-to-day living. It backs into their 2nd house of money. And what the Pisces has learned is, I got to make more money. And it's not just going to fall out of the sky on me, that I have to take some sort of positive action to make that more money myself. And again, don't believe that you can get something for nothing. There's no quick way to do that. So that's tomorrow's news today for the 12 signs of the zodiac with Mercury retrograding and a full moon. What a week.
That means babies are coming.
I think so.
Woo-hoo.
All over the place.
See you next week.
Always a pleasure.